Oh my God, guys. This is the last day of the CEO World Record. And David Meltzer, the living legacy, that's who you are to me.
Oh,
And the pioneering entrepreneur who is so not only humble, but as well truly, truly brave, has said yes to join this initiative. And actually, an hour ago, I already know that we have hit the world record. And knowing that I'm speaking with you, is like, a sign from the universe. So I'm like, pumped, David. And the reason why I wanted you to be onboarded, because you have this impeccable mission to make over 1 billion people happy. And I really love over. So, David, without further ado, welcome to the CEO World Record. First of all, it's an honor having you. And I have the first question.
thank you for having
What?
me.
Oh, it's epic. What life events in your journey led you to this impeccable mission of yours that I know it's, sits with you every day and it's anchored to your fullest being?
Well, the first life event was being born into the family that I was born into, one in which grounded the values that I live by today, have lost my way with in the yesteryears, and have found again. But those values are to live with simple gratitude, something, as you know, on my mission, I try to empower people with the ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons, to have a positive perspective, to be and appreciate in a world, a value add world, not a zero sum world. Forgiveness would be the second thing that I learned through that. Accountability, and finally, effective communication with faith, not just communicating with others, but with everything, including something bigger than me that is all knowing and loves me more than my mom. So the first thing that set me in a trajectory to empower over 1 billion people to be happy was where I was born and what I was raised, the values I was raised with. The second thing is the pragmatic experience that I had, from graduating law school to working the internet to having my first exit at 25 years old of $3.4 billion with Thomson Reuters and West, to running Samsung's phone division at 30, to running Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, the most notable sports agency, to partnering with Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback, with one of the world's most renowned sports marketing companies globally, and then to build my own brand with books and podcasts and TV shows and movies, all to help people live in abundance in the value add world, to teach people to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. And then the third incident would be to lose everything,
Mm.
and learn the lesson of radical humility, that I don't know what I don't know, and I need help, and I need to ask for help, and to remind me of and recollect me with and remember from those values that made me who I was, to take stock in who I was, and also to take stock in what I wanted to become. And through the journey of living in a world of not enough, to be inspired to live in a world of abundance, to living in a world of just enough, a zero sum world where I traded and negotiated everything, including giving, to give more, to receive more, was actually an anomaly that didn't make sense. You can't give more with less. And nobody taught me to receive more, to give more, to give more, to receive more, that giving and receiving are one. To today, living in a world of value add, of, after losing everything, which, by the way, is true knowledge. So I acquired the knowledge by not having what I had. And that can come from giving it away, but it also comes from losing it, having it stolen from you, manipulated, or cheated. If I always live my life in appreciation, but until I had that acknowledgement of losing
Hmm.
everything I had, I wasn't able to acquire the knowledge to ask for more. And now I
Right.
live in an abundant world, a unified, infinite, abundant world, a unified system of thought that's abundant, that is part and parcel to everything, an omniscient, all knowing, all powerful source of everything that allows me and loves me and protects me and promotes me to a better place, a better position, in a better situation in my life.
Hmm. It just sinks into all of the levels of my being, David. Let's talk about that moment when, many of us, and especially you, we lose ourselves at certain moments in time throughout the life. Not all of us have that experience. When I mean lose ourselves, that is, we lose the identity we defined ourselves with, and we are like everything and nothing and everybody and nobody, and it's just this void which is unexplainable, obscure. And many of us, we never been educated or trained or grew with the ability to maneuver or to understand ourselves in that space of expansiveness, the one you speak from. And I know that you know what I speak about. Let's speak about that moment, because I know that there are many people who will listen. They are going through that moment, or they want to actually experience that they're losing their identity and rebuilding again, and walking that path over and over. What would be your guidance? I wouldn't even call it advice, but like gentle guidance when there are these people in this moment of losing their identity and maybe getting scared.
Yeah. So, it really is a matter of faith. If you're in a position where you feel as if you're losing your identity, my original identity was tied very closely to my bank account. If my bank account went up, I was more. And if it went down, I was less. And I constantly lived in this world of zero sum, of more and less, and wanting more. I wanted more happiness. I wanted more health. I wanted more wealth, and I wanted more worthiness. And my identity, that bank account, tied me to more or less. And so for everyone here that has that fear, anxiety, and worry, and resentment, and guilt, and separation of more and less, of inferiority and superiority, what I would suggest to do is to shift your perspective to one of I am. And
Mm.
instead of being in the more or less range, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy, because I'm part and parcel. I'm a remembrance, a recollection, and a reminder of an all knowing, all sourced everything, an infinite, abundant, unified system that loves me and protects me more than my mom. Therefore, when I say I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy, all I now have to do with that faith is say, what am I doing to interfere with it? I don't
Mm.
live in a realm of zero sum, of more or less. I don't tie my identity to anything of more or less. I simply am part and parcel, a remembrance, a reminder, a recollection of everything, of a unified, infinite, abundant system of thought that loves me more than my mom and knows everything and protects and promote me, even though I may not understand it. And if I can get people to uh, detach their identity from outcomes, from judgments and conditions, from more or less, and live presently in I am, and have faith of what they are and what they're connected to and through, you will find great ease instead of great dis-ease.
Oh, yeah, love that. All of that, David. And this world record is aimed to gather most ethical and impact driven leaders and the companies and literally rewrite the history of top down, toxic ways of growing at businesses at any cost. And as we know, 100 plus years in the past, the pinnacle of the economy and society and it was growth at any cost, and we are facing what we're facing today, and I will not go into the details. The question, David, would be, knowing that you have an extensive amount of people working for the one audacious impact of yours, guys, what type of practices or rituals you do with a team that helps you to 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 be to be who you are, to be anchored to your audacious impact, to deliver the way you deliver, of value. What are these practices? Maybe they are not yet even written in the book, so we will write that in a record.
Yeah, so there's 5 daily practices that I teach with the foundational values of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication to utilize an execution model of repositing options, opportunities, and touches of favor to distribute to those who best can prioritize those options, opportunities, and touches of favor in order to execute on those. So those 5 daily practices are very simple to me. It's know our what. What do we want as a collective consciousness? What do we want experientially? What do we want giving wise? What do we want receiving wise? And then the next daily practice, from taking that nothingness of living our lives like a tube, food in and food out, instead of a purposeful existence from nothingness to possibility by knowing our what for the day in a trajectory of what we think we want in the future. The second step or daily practice is know our who. Who can we help with what we want and who can help us with what we want? And the minute we know who we can help and who can help us, our possibility from nothingness now becomes a probability utilizing daily practices. And then the third daily practice is know our how. So as a team, as a collective consciousness, we're utilizing lenses of productivity, of how much value we can provide as a group, accessibility, how accessible are we to each other and to others, and how are we accessing or receiving what we want and who we can help and who can help us. And then finally, the lens of gratitude, to be able to find the light, the love, and the lessons, give meaning to the past, mistakes, setbacks, failures, successes, defining moments, historical references, lessons of the past in the same trajectory of what we think we want in the future or better. Taking that probability and now making it a shared collective consciousness, a perspective. And the fourth daily practice in which we've instituted in this collective being is knowing our now. Eckhart Tolle has had a huge influence of and on our group and our collective by being present, by being able to prioritize what's important to us, not allowing urgency to sway the importance, not allowing what other people think to sway the importance, not allowing what's missing, what we don't have, what we're afraid of to sway the importance, but instead prioritized by the what, the who, and the how, prioritized by what's important to us according to our trajectory of what we think we want or better, giving meaning to the setbacks, failures, mistakes, defining moments, historical references of our past. And if we stay present, we will clear the interference of what stops most companies: procrastination and feeling overwhelmed. You see, prioritization of what's important to us in a trajectory where we think we want to be. Procrastination, we have the antidote, and it's prioritization. By doing it now and knowing what to do next, 100% of the things we do now get done. We're more efficient, effective, and statistically successful. We clear the interference not only of procrastination, but of feeling overwhelmed. Another interference and deterrent and resistance that's created to the collective consciousness about accelerating towards what we think we want or better. Be efficient, effective, and statistically successful by being present and knowing it now. And your probability becomes a collective perspective. And now the only last practice that we have is to take that perspective and make it our reality. Instead of searching for what we think we want in the future or better, we do say, think, believe, and feel what we want in the trajectory of what we think we want or better by doing it now and applying our why. We're not in search of our inspiration, intellect, or intuition. We're applying our intellect. We're implying our intuition. We're implying our inspiration. And if you know your what, your who, your how, and your now, you will apply your why and you will live in that reality. Make your nothingness a possibility, know your what. Make your possibility a probability by knowing your who. Make your probability your perspective by knowing your how, and make your perspective your reality by applying your why to your now. Those are the daily practices which we institute based on the foundational principles of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication, giving the meaning of the past to the trajectory of the unlimited, infinite future or better, being protected and promoted, accelerated, aggregated, and exponentially receiving outcomes that we never dreamed of. Remember, you will never overachieve your own self-image. So use those values, daily practices, and execution model to increase and expand your own self-image. You too can empower over 1 billion people to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely, David. I love the collective consciousness, and I love that we have to stop looking for outwards and just really tune into our inwards and stop looking for competition, stop kind of copying or replicating, just truly trust in the being. And loved everything around that. And the last question, David, how do you imagine the world 100 years from now?
Well, I think we're getting some interesting technologies that are giving us insight into a future. And the first one is the cloud. Uh, if we understand time as infinite, and we look at the cloud as a precursor or a foreshadowing of the Akashic records, a historical uh, cloud that has always exists, that there's somehow a record that has everything from the past, the present, and the future. We can see now that the future will be able to access that cloud, that Akashic record, access our past, our present, and our future all at once. The second insight that I have to the future is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is also a precursor of the power of servancy that we're going to have. And it's raising my awareness to how important it is to be a good master to that servant and to utilize technology as a steward to help make us abundant, to help other people, and to have a lot of fun. And when we realize that they call it artificial intelligence because we are the hosts of intelligence, the expression of God, the genius that incorporates not only information as artificial intelligence is able to access and distribute, but we hold two other components in that information, that intelligence, which is not only intuition, but inspiration, to be able to bring the emotion, the energy and motion to aggregate, compound, and accelerate in a trajectory of unlimited, unified, abundant system of intelligence, intuition, or inspiration, abundant, unified, infinite system of thought that is here to love us and protect us and to expand us into a better place, in a better position. That's where we're going to be in about 100 years from now.
Maybe even faster, who knows? Well, David, thank you so much for being with us. You just became a world record holder, and hopefully, we will help you and you will help us to reach those billions of impacts globally. Thank you so much for being with us.
I love it. Thank you so much. I now have a second world record. My first world record was I threw the first pitch out at the Angel game, where the most people ever to watch a baseball game wearing a sombrero. So now I have two world records in my book. Who would have ever thought? Laura, thank you so much for the opportunity to reach my potential. I love you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, David. Bye.
Bye bye.